Most players lose paddle points before the rally starts. Not because the serve is insane, but because their mindset is. Today we flip that. Calm first, control next. I'll show you a high percentage return that will instantly help you find your flow on your return of serve. Strong serve, go low to the server. Weak serve, throw up that lob. If you do just this, you'll break more serves starting today. Let's roll. My whole thing is inner peace first, outer excellence second. On the return, that means we're not going for winners. We're neutralizing. Calm eyes and clear target. If we do that, the server's advantage shrinks fast. So in paddle, the return sets the tone for the entire receiving game. If we miss one or two, we're going to be gifting the game to our opponents. So let's watch the pros. They essentially never miss the return. They're constantly putting pressure back on the server. And that's what we're going to focus on today. How to hit high percentage returns that will put the pressure immediately back on our opponents. So let's now touch on the routine before our return of serve. Just like before we serve, we have a routine. We need to establish one before the return as well. So what that's going to look like is making sure anywhere between 5 to 7 seconds, we're taking time to take a deep breath, calming ourselves, calming the mind, moving our feet, getting ourselves into position, getting into an athletic stance, visualizing where we want the return to go. If it's going to be a very strong serve, their first serve, we're going to want to keep that low, hit at the server who's moving forward. If it's a second serve and it's weaker, that's when we could play the lob and look to move forward if the opportunity presents. So if we do just this, our return percentage will go up, and we didn't even touch on technique. Now let's discuss where we will aim the return of serve. First serves are generally going to be a little more offensive, a little more harder to return, whether it's up the tee, straight at you up the middle, or towards the side glass. So more often than not, we will want to just keep this ball low, and we're going to want to keep it low towards the moving player, which will be the server. We're going to want to hit to the player that's moving, because it's much more difficult to hit a ball that's low when you're moving forward versus their partner. If we were to hit to them, they're already at the net and they're balanced. If it's a second serve, and if it's weaker, which is usually the case, that's when we're going to have time and most likely more height to be able to lob it. And that's when we could flip the script and look to be a little bit more offensive. But that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes players will have equally of an offensive and effective serve on their second serve, in which case you'll have to be sure to just play it safe, keep it nice and low. So we always want to focus on targets when we're returning. Again, if it's served offensively nice and well, we're going to want to make sure we aim at the server who's moving forward. Now, if the serve is hit wide to the glass, hit very, very effectively, it's going to be hard to pull that ball cross court to the server who's moving forward. We will just at this point want to be able to get the ball back, so up the line will likely be the better option. If possible, we will just want to avoid hitting to the player's forehand, where that will be an easy offensive attack or put away. Next, we want to be sure that we're focusing on hitting the return soft and low, because we want the opponents to have to hit up on the ball. We want to see that racket face open because it's below net level. If we hit the return hard and flat, that is going to be easy volley, where we are instantly going to be put on our back foot and playing defense. When and where to lob. We want to lob when you have time and the serve gives you height. We're going to want to prioritize length, getting it nice and deep past where the server typically wants to hit their volley. Now, where do we want to aim the lob? Ideally, we first want to aim the lob towards the weaker player. And assuming both players are right-handed and both have strong overheads, we will want to aim for the left shoulder of the right-handed player. And even better if that player has a weaker overhead. So what are the types of serves that we will typically see? That's what we're going to cover right now. First, if the ball is going wide, and if it's gonna hit this first glass panel, we will wanna make sure we take it off the glass. Now, for us players that are just getting into the game, that will seem intimidating at first, but really force yourself to get used to taking it off the glass. Your first instinct will likely be, oh, let me short hop this, but over time, it is much more effective. You watch the pros, the higher level players, they're letting it hit off this glass and then taking it off the glass, backing up, giving themselves time. So you're gonna wanna be in your ready position. You see it coming into this first glass, give yourself space, turn, prepare, have your racket low, and get ready to adjust with your feet, make some small steps to get in position and stay balanced. And then keep it nice and low, ideally to the serving player. And again, if it hit very, very well, sometimes our only option will be to go up the line. We just want to avoid that forehand wing. Next, if the serve is going to be hitting this back glass panel, that's where we'll want to step in and take it off the bounce. If the serve is going to come to our body, all we're going to want to do is make sure that we give ourselves space, whether it's on the backhand or the forehand, so we're in position to hit it effectively. And most of the time, most players are going to want to hit that forehand, which is more comfortable. So they'll want to take a step back, get in position, hit the return. And then last is a serve that comes up the tee. We don't see this serve hit as often in paddle, but it is definitely an option and something that we have to be ready for when we return. And a lot of players will want to wait for this ball to come off the glass and then hit it, but that's so difficult to do. One, because the ball, especially if it's hit relatively well, will slice, stay low, and barely come off the glass. So we won't even really have a chance to hit it. And if we do effectively get it, our weight's on our back foot here. We're just gonna dig it up, and that net player is gonna inch forward, and that'll be an easy put away, probably a port quattro over the back fence. So what we'll wanna do is make sure that we get there early, we plant our outside foot, we strike, and then we immediately push off and recover. And a good general rule of thumb for the ready position when you return is at the intersection of this glass pane and this glass pane. If we were to draw a line and where they intersect, that's where we want our center of gravity. This is a good ready position that effectively allows you to defend the wide serve off the glass and also cover a serve up the tee. Now, if your opponent favors more of the wide serve or up the tee, then you could make those micro adjustments accordingly. If you're finding this content helpful, be sure to hit subscribe, follow along, and comment below which city you're from. Okay, now let's touch on the most common mistakes we often see off the return of serve. First one, and the one I see most often, is going for a lob off of a strong serve. Players, knowing that the lob is what we want to do to push our opponents back, they're trying to do it too soon, likely off the first serve or the return, when they don't have time, they don't really have the height of the ball to hit it effectively, and they're off balance. That is something that you pay respect to that serve, and you get it nice and low, ideally to that server, the player moving forward. Next is negative self-talk from the prior point, hands in the air, and then no routine before the return. They're just kind of like standing here and bringing that negative energy from the previous point. We want to make sure that we're resetting, we're calming ourselves internally, taking a deep breath, looking at our racket, keeping the head down, moving the body, getting into our ready position, visualizing where we want to hit that return of serve. Another very big common mistake is, and this is big for my tennis friends who are coming into the game and new to the sport, is going for winners off the return. It's so tempting, I get it, I've been there. We want to hit these big, nice ground strokes, but one of two things will happen. That nice, effective ground stroke will just be an easy volley at the chest, or they'll let it go and it'll be an easy rebound off the wall. Next, rushing is a very big common mistake. And this is especially the case when a serve is hit wide and they're trying to either take the ball off the bounce instead of letting it rebound off the glass, or if it is going to hit the glass, instead of giving it time to hit the glass and come back, they're trying to rush and hit it right off the wall. So they're off balance and trying to force it instead of staying calm, taking their time. Another one is hitting the return straight to the forehand of the net player. We want to ideally hit to the body or the backhand, where it's going to be more difficult for them to actually attack versus hitting a ball chest level or above to the forehand. That's going to be an easy offensive shot or even put away. And then last, but certainly not least, is hitting the return and then just standing here, not recovering. So we're in a ready position. The serve goes up the tee. We move for it, we hit, and then we just watch it, and then we expose this whole back corner. Instead of hit, the return, push back off, and immediately get back into position and ready. Every point starts with our state of being. Breathe, see it, place it, and then recover. If you got value from today, be sure to subscribe, follow along for more, and let me know in the comments what type of content you want to see in the next video. Remember, here we are all about competing with peace and letting excellence be a byproduct. Let's keep going. I'll see you next time.